Hey, good morning, friends. Mark Holmes here, and it is game day. And as always, thank you guys for watching, commenting, and subscribing to the Jobu Sports Report. Without you guys, this literally does not work. It is amazing how quickly things change in the NFL. I mean, look, the Cleveland Browns still have playoff hopes. The Cleveland Doo-Doo Browns. We may have to stop calling them the Doo-Doo Browns. Whereas teams like, Super Bowl favorites such as Atlanta, not so much. But anyway, forget about those teams. We're focusing in on the Dallas Cowboys. And in this last 5 weeks, we went from talking about the Dallas Cowboys being dead to now, are they a Super Bowl contender? So this game day morning, let's go to NFL Network and see what the conversation is about the Cowboys.
On what's to come today.
In just 6 weeks with the Cowboys, Amari Cooper leads the league in receiving yards. And after that win over the Eagles and that walk-off touchdown of his third touchdown of the day, he came off the field and yelled, "I'm here. Even when I'm covered, I'm not covered." Well, I asked him about those comments this week, and he says that's just how he truly feels. And consider this, in their last 3 games, he and Ezekiel Elliott have more scrimmage yards than 10 NFL teams. And when quarterback Dak Prescott is targeting Cooper, he's had his highest passer rating with him than with any other receiver since joining the team. I talked to defensive coordinator Matt Eberflus with the Colts, who spent 7 seasons in Dallas and 2 with guys like Dak Prescott and Ezekiel Elliott on the other side of the ball. And he knows the challenge. He says for them to have a chance today, it's going to take all 11.
They're going to need all their guys. Dak Prescott here, a completely different quarterback since the acquisition of Amari Cooper. Look, since week 9, leading the league in completion percentage, averaging almost 300 yards per game with a passer rating of 105. That's a huge improvement from the days when Cole Beasley was their #1 receiver. Everything has changed for the Cowboys. So, are the Cowboys a legit Super Bowl contender? Can they get there?
Well, first of all, I'm not on a bandwagon, meaning I didn't pick them to be where they are, but I'm going to say they are a Super Bowl contender. Going into the playoffs, they're a hot team. Their defense is playing lights out, holding teams to under 20 points, 18.9 per game. So just in case somebody was on there, Steve doesn't know his stats, should I feed him? I know it. I just don't want to be a numbers guy. But the defense playing out of mind. And then we talked about Amari Cooper, what he's done for this team. He's opened it up. The playmaker he already was not utilized in Oakland. Now you get to see sometimes people can hold you back.
That's true.
Yeah.
Look, I mean, if we're talking Super Bowl contenders, how about they just win a playoff game first? Like, let's get there and then get to the Super Bowl, whether or not they're going to be contenders. I'm just saying, it's been a while.
Did you just say Dak didn't catch, or Dez didn't catch it? I think that's what.
I think the Cowboys are a Super Bowl contender, and it pains me to say it.
Because they mollywopped the Saints. I saw
they beat the brakes off my Saints. But the last time we lost to the Cowboys in that fashion,
2009?
we won the Super Bowl.
I've heard you said it like 15
I'm gonna say
times.
about 15
That'd be 60.
I got about 15 more times to say it too before this show is over. Okay. But like you just alluded to, they have a defense that can carry them into the postseason. They got a defense and they have a solid run game. Those are the 2 things that you want to have a lot of success with going into the postseason. The run game helps them chew up the time of possession. It keeps the other opposing offense off the field. And then you have a defense that's getting them extra possessions back to the offense.
NFC Championship game. Cowboys.
Saints?
If who wins?
New Orleans, we beating the brakes off them.
Why are you stealing my point?
We beating the brakes off them.
I was going to beat
not
that
even
guy.
close.
What, the home field guy?
And I'm talking trash to
That
Earth, too.
same
I
game.
hope this happens.
That same game, Thursday night in Dallas. Play that game in the Superdome in January. It's not the
Not
same
even
case.
close.
It's a completely
Not even
different
close.
game. And that's
So you saying that defense doesn't travel?
I'm saying
Let's say they gotta do that.
we're better. We're a better football team.
Really?
And at home, nobody wants to see us in
Man,
the
I
dome.
saw it in HD.
Don't nobody want to see us in the dome. Nobody want
I
to see
saw
us
it
in
in
the
HD.
Superdome in the playoffs.
The
It's
way
not
it's
gonna be
lining
good.
up
He's
now,
had like 38 passing yards in the first half of that game.
it's a different game
Leave it
in
to
that
pass,
dome.
huh?
The way it's lining up, they have to go to that dome, and then they have to play the Rams as well to do it. I'm looking at that and I'm saying that's a tough road for them to go and to do
Hey,
it.
Black Santa over here not buying it.
Back to back.
Oh!
Uh,
Oh!
I am. Pecan tan, I prefer.
There you go. I'll let you have all of those, Steve. All right.
Is Stephen Smith getting on the Dallas Cowboys bandwagon? Because basically he was the only one. I mean, you had her talking about, can they at least win a playoff game at first? You got Reggie Bush throwing shade at him and everything. But it was kind of like, I'm Black Santa, and I'm not buying that because that defense travels. Now, you know what? That's kind of good. But listen, before we can even think about playing New Orleans in a championship game, we got 3 games left to play, starting with today with the Colts. I know all we have to do is win one more game and we've won the division and we're in the playoffs. But listen, we've started something. We've gotten some momentum. The team has been playing well. You want to continue that going through. You want to stay healthy. You want to start developing more and more. Amari Cooper has been out of his mind. The effect that he's had with Dak Prescott and the two of them together, we've only scratched the surface. It's been 6 weeks, and we're not talking about a whole training camp. Those guys can get even better. And as he goes, the team goes. Everyone's getting better around him. But we still have a lot of work to do. And let's just take it one game at a time. We got the Colts today. Let's get that victory. Let's win the division, and then we'll talk about Tampa Bay next week. 1 week at a time. I sat here 5 weeks ago, and I said this, and people laughed at me. I said, you want playoffs? The playoffs start right now. I said the playoffs for the Dallas Cowboys every week from here on out, for them to save their season, was a do or die. You beat the Eagles, it's like playoffs. Your season is still alive. And people said, playoffs? You're crazy. Playoffs. No. You have to have that mentality that you have to win every single week. And you start getting used to being in those must-win situations. It'll bode well when it comes playoff time. And the thing that you got to love with the Cowboys right now is they've won in a multitude of different ways. They've had a slugfest against New Orleans. They ended up taking the highest scoring team and holding them to 10. And they ended up finding a way to win there. Against the Eagles, you ended up with a shootout in the fourth quarter and overtime. They ended up being able to win there. And that's what you have to be able to do. When your game is not going the way you want to, being able to adapt to the situation and still come out on top. That's the signs of a good team. We're not there yet, but we're getting closer. Now, I got to get ready because got to get my gear stuff ready to go. We'll be at Lucky's, and we're going to be doing something new for you guys, the fans. We're going to have the fan mic, so that way when you guys come over and talk to me and everything else, you'll have your own microphone, so that way everybody out there will get a chance to meet you. We're going to be doing some drawings there as well for some prizes, and everybody who's done Super Chats, you'll be entered in those drawings as well. So I'm as excited as can be. I want to keep this mojo going, and I want to make sure that all of you fans out there have a ball. I'm Mark Holmes, and I can't believe Stephen Smith is getting on the Cowboys bandwagon. I'll see you in a bit.